Okay, hopefully, okay, just started. So, hold on. Actually, I'm gonna move the screen off OBS real quick. Like a share the stream now. I'm fucking stuttering as soon as I started streaming. On yesterday's reaction, I was stuttering like a motherfucker, and I wasn't even like drunk or anything. Boom, butla. But I hold on, I gotta fucking go on YouTube app on my phone so I could monitor chat. Fuck it. Alright. Send the stream out to a couple people so they could join up. Alright, let me get my fucking screen back in. Alright. Now, I mean, technically the stream's been fucking on for like 2 minutes, but yo, what is good, y'all? Commander Blaze back here with another fucking stream. Fucking, I don't know why I'm stuttering. I'm drunk or tired. But I was meant to stream on fucking Twitch last night, and I was for like 10 minutes till I realized that fucking game audio wasn't playing. Anything I did, it would not fucking play, which it sucks because I really want to upload the VODs and put them on YouTube, so it's just not all reaction videos. Fuck it. A whole lot of BBC. Put a whole lot of BBC in your mouth. This big black blaze. Big blaze. Yeah, big blaze cock. Big blaze cock. That's an insane statement though. Only got like 2 brewskis for the stream. I'm kinda fucking alcoholic. We got Realix here. Follow him on Twitch.
Yo, what's up?
We got David in the chat. Fucking Wild might join. Joseph might join. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I might bring some. Maybe if Marvin joins the stream, I'll probably invite him on. We're just gonna chill, do some reactions that I might just like cut and post them on YouTube. And plus, I got one right here that I literally just found in my recommendation. Bro, how do you drink and not get fat? Bro, I don't drink every fucking day though. I don't drink. I mean, it depends on the day too. Like we get released early, I'm drinking. But guess what? Most we don't get released early, so I don't drink every day. Like, no, I don't have a gut. I don't have a gut. But I knew this one motherfucker. Like the weekend I spent sipping took me back hella. That's insane. You think you got like a beer belly from that? Also, I'm just talking to David on the fucking chat. I'm pretty sure you remember him. Yeah, I knew this one. I knew this one fool. Fucking, he just like he was like a major like alcoholic for a minute, drinking like Modelo's, and then when we were on leave, he went to Mexico and was drinking like every fucking day, and then he came back looking like he was like 6 months pregnant, like huge ass fucking beer gut. Like when we started running again, His gut was so fucking fat that like the actual like fattest person passed him while running, and he was like, "Oh hell no!" So he locked in. He's like, no. I mean, that's one way to lock in. So that's two beers though. Tastes like ass right now. They might have froze up for a minute. I wish I looked at 16 ounces though. That'd be good for stream. The emojis are insane. Oh, 6 months pregnant. Yeah, bro. Like, big ass gut. And in Germany, he was running hella fast. There was a time, I think it was Christmas time in Germany, that fucking, he did like a 12-mile rock. And we were allowed to drink during like Christmas time. But he didn't because, actually, I can't even bring it up. Like, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut for this part. But it was a allowed drink. So he literally he was locked in. He's like, fuck, I'm gonna do a 12-mile rock. And he was like, and then came back here. We all started fucking drinking. But I pretty much got locked in again. I know Fern doesn't drink. What, do you drink like sometimes?
I don't. Special occasion.
Special occasion. Every day is a special occasion.
This one.
But bro, fucking, there was like a whole time, like a whole month, where like I drank every day and I always saw an excuse. We're like, oh, we got released and we didn't get smoked. Celebration. Or we got released and we got to live in Dodge smoked house. Fuck this. I'm gonna drink like for a whole month. It was like back in April. Yeah, April. I was like, oh, fuck this. I'm drinking. I think we had like a little like selection week, and I fucked my hip up. I think that's what caused me to fucking drink every day because I was like, fuck this, bro. But now I just drink like when a weekday drink. It has to be like during like a fucking late call or like I get invited out and I have like 4 or 5 beers at most, which is kind of crazy already. But fuck it. I mean, I still run good. Fucking, you know. I mean, I've been. I got been getting a little bit bigger on the arms. Yeah. Can't hear Fern. Hold on.
They can't hear me or what?
That's what David said. Hold on. Desktop audio.
Probably because I have my mic low. Here, look. I'm gonna switch over to my other mic.
Where the red, where the red ferns grow. God damn, that shit sounds loud. Damn, yeah, just connect the other mic. Is it like
Yo, can you hear me?
I mean, I could hear you. I'm not sure about chat. There, you could hear him.
Hello.
Yeah, David said he could hear you.
Yo.
Yo, can you hear me?
What the?
Oh, can you hear me?
There you go.
All right.
Shit, no wonder you guys couldn't hear me.
Could you hear me though?
Yeah.
Okay, make sure. Dude, after the whole fucking thing last night on Twitch where I couldn't even like hear the game, I was like looking at like one I had like one like 30-second clip. I couldn't hear the fucking audio on that. But it was from the same game. Technically same game. Should we just react to this video because this shit looks crazy?
All right.
Let me share my screen. Alright, let me know if you could hear it or not. Actually, fucking, I'm gonna record this too at the same time so I can post this on YouTube, and it's gonna be.
Alright.
Alright, 1, 2, 3. Yo, what is good, y'all? Commander Blaze back with another video. As I'm recording this, I am also streaming on YouTube. Y'all should join them. I try to stream every Fridays and Saturdays, depends on the day. But we got Fern, aka Relix, right here.
Yo, what's up?
Put his Twitch. I'm not. Do you have YouTube yet?
YouTube? Nah.
Yeah. But fucking, I'll put your Twitch in the description so people can follow you.
Alright.
And fucking, typically we have Joseph on here, but now we have I want to say better guess. It's a fuck with Joseph, but Joseph's cool. But fucking, we're reacting to. I thought I liked being cucked. I didn't. And, bro, I hope this is like satire, bro. I'm praying it's a satire. Fuck it, we'll just get into it.
I wanted to talk a little bit about my experience being cocked, particularly something that happened between me and my ex-wife. Now, before
Bro, that makes sense.
I begin, there are two things that you need to know about my ex-wife. Okay, number one, she loved getting jiggy with it, right? Loved it. She's like an animal. And she died. So that was kind of like a...
I'm sorry, bro. Like right when he said that, bro, I felt the muscles in my face trying to form a smile, and I had to like hold it back.
A chicken and the egg scenario, you know, divorce, death, which came first. But point is, whichever way you slice it, she's out of my life. I never knew if your partner dies, does that automatically mean they're your ex? You know, but anyway. This is not normally a story that I probably would feel comfortable telling because it's very personal, right? But the reason that I wanted to tell it was because, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I've sort of been blowing up lately, you know? And so I feel like now I have a little bit more of a platform, and that allows me to sort of provide people a perspective on things that they wouldn't normally see. For example, cucking...
Bro, why'd you say it like that? I'm sorry for pausing, but it's like, but cucking? Like, what the?
Is kind of a joke.
Oh shit, we got four viewers
in our culture. And for me, it's the exact opposite, because I have always struggled with insecurity, dysfunction in the bedroom, and everywhere else. I mean, if you've watched this YouTube channel for more than 5 seconds, you probably could tell that I'm very mentally ill, right? So cucking for me is sort of more of a therapeutic exercise, right? It's sort of an emotional...
Bro, that's an insane statement. Alright, yeah, bro. I love watching my wife get fucked. It's like a therapeutic spiritual exercise for me. You know how it is, you know? I know y'all are relating to me in the chat. I know everyone watching these videos relating to me. I know everyone in the universe is relating to. It's like, bro, what the fuck?
Stick sort of thing. And basically, like I said, I had a very, very difficult time my entire life sort of making it happen in the terms of intimacy. And so it really wasn't until my ex-wife and I got together and then really got to know each other and got comfortable with each other that I was able to have anything remotely resembling physical intimacy. And so even when it was good, you know.
Yo,
can you hear me?
yeah.
Alright.
Wait, were you trying to talk throughout the entire reaction?
Nah.
Okay, I didn't know because I know your fucking mic cut out or some shit. But fucking. I don't know. This reaction is kind of crazy so far.
Even when it was even the best night that we had, I was still. It would be over, and I would think, you know, I would obsess over.
What's up? Oh. I thought I heard you.
Were you faking it? Would you rather be with somebody else? Do you wish it was your ex? You know, all this stuff. And I would grill her basically every night about all these things. And then that started to spill over into my daily life. You know, that would become, are you cheating on me? You know, why aren't you texting me back? Why aren't you calling me? Do you even love me? All this stuff. And it got very, 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 very.
How the fuck is like this pool girls and I'm still like single over here, bro? What the fuck? What am I doing wrong? Did I become a cock?
Very, very difficult for both of us. And that really started to sort of fray our relationship. You know, and it started to. I remember very vividly one night I had a dream.
Is he fucking Martin Luther King? Like he had a dream.
Yeah, bro. That's why I caused the video, bro. Bro, if this was Martin Luther King, Martin Luther, well, it's fucking dream, bro. Then we're
not like Martin Luther King, not that kind of dream.
Bro, he even quoted it.
I hope he didn't have a dream like this, because otherwise he would be pretty
Like
freaky.
I had a dream.
Like, bro, yeah, I have a dream to watch my wife get fucked in front of me. I even have the cuck chair in the corner right there. You know, that's kind of crazy because I pointed like you can see in the video. There's like a chair right there. And no, it's not a fucking cuck chair, but I just have it right there for like when the homies come over and we drink. And I watch my girl get fucked. That's an insane statement. I got chill before people actually think I'm like being serious. Did you see BO7 is gonna be 18? Yeah, I'm fucking with it a little bit, just a little bit, because Kata has kind of been like falling off just a little bit.
Well, I don't know. He's kind of hot, you know. Maybe it's anyway.
What?
I had a dream. Now I can't stop thinking about Martin Luther King. I had a nightmare. Let's say that. I have a nightmare. Evil Dr. King, right? I had a nightmare where my wife was engaging in an act of physical intimacy in front of me, and I couldn't do anything about it. And she was doing it to humiliate me. She was tormenting me.
What the fuck kind of dreams y'all?
And it started to become a recurring nightmare. And eventually, I brought this up to
some weird ass nightmare to have.
Yeah, bro, but I mean, this might be his nightmare, but this is definitely Adam 22's like biggest dream, bro. I once had a dream, and I made it possible with Jason Love.
I've been having this dream where you. At the time, I didn't know exactly that's what it was called.
When's my feature gonna come in, dude?
That's insane. That's
Adam 22. Hit me up.
This nightmare where you.
Nah. You know the plug. That's my wife. Everyone's wife. I'm married to her. You're married to her.
We're all married to her.
Yeah, we're all married to her. She's mine.
Well, wonder what the fuck they're gonna tell their daughter for.
I'm pretty, bro. Their daughter's gonna be bullied, bro. Like, there's no denying it, but fuck it.
Be like, your mom fucked another guy. On camera.
Nah, bro. Think about that too, bro. Like, not just in her case, bro, but like, and like the only, like, bro, we're like what, almost 20? There's people I know and have OnlyFans, and some of them have kids. And bro, knowing how
I know who you're talking about.
Knowing how
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Bro, like knowing like how we grew up, bro, in that area, they're cooked. They're fried rice.
Well, if they find out their mom has an OnlyFans, he's fucked.
Yeah, bro. No, man, this is.
I know who you're talking about. I know you're talking about.
Psychologically and
I seen it, bro. I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, and I know she has a kid. I'm like, oh shit. Knowing that everyone knows each other in that town.
Yeah, bro.
He's fucked.
I mean, I'm just saying this because fuck. No, like, I mean, I wasn't like calling up that certain person, but like, I was like, there was like at least 3-4 females I know that done that already, which is insane.
You know, in this way, I don't want to say I don't want to get YouTube to get all pissy with me. But yeah, basically, yeah, I told her, and she said, I thought she would think it was funny, but she really did not. And she said, you know what? I am getting sick of you having this idea of me in your head, this figment of your imagination who is evil, right? You have invented a version of me that is evil and trying to ruin your life. And you think that's me, right? You projected that onto me. So that's what's causing all the problems in our relationship. And at the time, I was sort of like, okay, lesson learned. Don't tell you anything ever again, right? Zip. But, you know, after I started to think about it, and I started to realize she was exactly right. I was right on the money. And I sort of sat with this for a little bit, and I started to I worked with my therapist, trying to figure out how to sort of get the.
Bro, you know, be a crazy plot twist. What if the therapist was the one that fucked his wife?
Evil version of her out of my head. But it was just.
I mean, it's possible.
It's very, very deep-seated problems that I have. So, basically, one night we had an argument, and it was about something so dumb I don't even remember
That's
what it was.
insane.
But basically, the you know how it's sort of, it's like every argument isn't really about the thing that it's about. It's about the. It's like most couples have the same argument over and over again their entire relationship, right? Same thing. And that's definitely the case with us. And it got to a point where she said, "What do? We cannot continue going on like this. So we have to either do something or end it." And I, as a joke, said, "Well, why don't we have a threesome? You know?"
Bro, why do you move to the camera like that, bro?
This motherfucker's just making it worse.
Yeah, bro. Bro, like,
Like,
with the way the video.
it's a fucking dream. Let it go, fool.
Bro, I'm not laughing this hard in a fucking while, bro. On stream especially. But like the way he like did like move to the camera and everything. Let me just run it.
Thing or end it. And I, as a joke, said, "Well, why don't we have a threesome?"
Like bro, the face dude. It's like, wow, why don't we have a threesome?
That's the joke.
Bro, this has to be satire. I'm hoping.
Plot twist, well, the wife says yes.
You know? And I was like,
bro, like, now that, you know, it'd be crazy. Imagine you're like, yeah, I want to have a threesome. You know, you're expecting, you know, like 2 chicks. And fucking, your wife's like.
It's a guy, girl.
Yeah, bro, but like, she's ability to, like, yes, this person, like, doesn't even say the fucking gender. Like, it's amazing for both of us, especially you. And you're like all excited. You have like a bathrobe. There's candles in the room waiting for you to walk in. It's like Shaq looking motherfucker with a dong, just like basically his third leg at that point. And like, what would you do in that situation? I honestly, I wouldn't know, bro.
I'm not sure.
It was culture. That's insane.
Expecting her to laugh. I was trying to break.
Hold on. My bad, I had to pull out the cuck chair real quick.
Break the tension with that. But her reaction was like, really? And I could tell that she was actually interested. And I said, well, I was joking, but you know, if you I was at a place where I feel like I'm such a pathetic loser in relationships. I was at a
How many subs? Oh, wait, how many subs? God damn, bro. Past the 3, 2, 1 case.
Place where I was ready to do anything. You're going to probably hear the rest of the story and you're going to say, you're so stupid. But you have to understand, I was in a place where I would do anything to just have her love me again. Right? I would do anything to have her to just fix it. And I didn't know at the time, nothing will do that. It's not possible. But so when I said the threesome remark and she said she was interested, I said, you know, I was just joking. but if you are interested, then I'll think about it. And she said, you know what? Yeah. And the reason why she said that was because this is
Oh god, Weddle / Fern tag team leading the plug. Oh yeah, bro, I'm gonna be in the, I call the back. Me and Fern's gonna dap each other up while we're looking at Adam 22 in his eyes. Yeah, it's your wife, bro. It's your baby mom. Bro, that's
You know what's crazy, bro? They did a part 2. It wasn't just Jason Love didn't fuck his wife just once. Fucked her twice, dude. That's what makes it even worse. And he's fine with it.
Yeah, bro. Wait, I just realized something. There.
You know what that fool posted on Twitter? Adam 22.
What do you post on Twitter?
When the video came up,
Yeah.
he's like, my wife paying the bills. I'm like, what the fuck?
That's insane.
That's just insane.
But fucking, what was it? Yeah, Adam 22 actually Eiffel Tower his wife, and I'm not saying that because I seen the video, but I'm pretty sure that he Eiffel Tower his wife. Tag team, and I think they fist bumped too. Like there was a whole clip of it on Twitter I saw.
probably important context.
No, I'm not even wrong. I remember that.
I mentioned earlier. She was polyamorous before we got married. So she's
is polyamorous.
Sort of lived her whole life, slinging it all around town, and everybody was just supposed to be fine with that.
That's insane.
And I said,
I took heroin.
I cannot do that. So either it's probably not going to work between the two of us. But we fell so in love that she was willing to give that up for me. And talking about it now, I don't think I ever really appreciated that the way that I should have, and that's my bad. I did a lot of things wrong up until this point, right? Well, and still. Anyway, she said, okay, let's do a threesome. So I was like, okay, sort of hesitantly, but I figured I could let her have this because she gave in to me to get married, and so I can give in to her a little bit. Compromise, right?
What the fuck?
So I sat with it for a few more days, and then I came to her. I had sort of, I do a lot of surfing on the internet, and so it's almost impossible to not find something about cucking in some way or shape or form, And I had sort of stumbled into a Reddit community centered around it, and it was
what r/cucks. Bro, I thought that was real.
Cool, they were very like-minded people, and we all
like-minded,
shared similar desires and similar problems, and So I had sort of been as I was thinking about the threesome, I was like, well, I don't really feel like that would be good because I can barely make one person happy in the sack, let alone two. So I said to her, what if instead of a threesome, you get with somebody else and you do it in front of me and
What the fuck?
Bro, I hope this is a satire. I'm praying satire because, like, bro. Now I understand what are you guys' thoughts on cucking? What is your thoughts on cucking? You know what my thoughts on cucking are? I'd be the one that's fucking. Actually, no, that's kind of, not in, like real Blaze talk. That's kind of gay if you think about that. Like, fucking someone else's wife or girlfriend while that man is still in the room. Make it or not, that's still gay. Not hating on the gay people, but fucking I don't swing like that. My 2-incher don't swing like that. But I'm praying it's a satire on everything that I love. I hope it's satire.
Right? And at first she laughed. This wasn't a joke. She thought this one was a joke. And she said, "You want me to cock you?" And I said, "Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's. I know it's considered a joke, but I said, yeah. I mean, I feel like maybe there's a concept in therapy called exposure therapy. Okay, and that's basically when if you have a fear or a phobia, you expose yourself to the fear or phobia, so that you see it's not a big deal and you get over it. So if you're afraid of bees, kick a bee's nest. If you're a germaphobe, stick a sandwich in the toilet and eat it, or
What the fuck? Nah, I know some of y'all motherfuckers be doing shit like that. Hold on. Yo. You mudded? Oh, okay, never mind. I get it now. But like, if motherfuckers actually like put a sandwich, I should think about right now making me want to barf.
or lick your own. I don't know. Point is, you expose yourself to the phobia, and then you see that it's not a big deal. So I said, my worst nightmare, literally, my worst nightmare is that I'm getting cocked. So what if it just happens? And then I'm like, okay, the worst thing that could ever happen happened. Now we can move on. Now I can stop living in fear of this thing happening constantly, and we can actually have a good marriage. It was a good idea. Even now that I'm saying it again, it seems like a good idea. But so I presented this to her with all my reasoning, and she said, okay. She was really interested. A little too interested. That was probably the first red flag, but by the time I didn't really. So the next question became, should we pick somebody who we both know or a stranger? And at first I thought it would be better with somebody that we knew because then we can sort of talk about it and process things and all that.
What?
We could even maybe go to throuples therapy, Look at
Fucking world, bro. Now I know why it took so long to make fucking GTA 6, bro. Because we live in the satire-ass world that GTA was based on.
me now. I'm becoming poly, and I got tricked into it. Anyway, then we sort of started to realize, well, if it's we were going down the list of people who were contenders from our social circles, and I was realizing I can't start going to trivia night and picturing you railing my wife every single time I'm trying to figure out who the 12th president was. So
what the fuck,
bro?
Maybe it would be
Guess
better.
what other video this motherfucker posted?
There's more?
If you go to his most popular video,
We're gonna look at that.
it's titled,
What is it?
I saw my grandma pleasing herself.
We're watching that one next, bro. We're watching that one next, bro.
It's 6 minutes long.
Oh, we're watching that one, bro.
I want to hear that shit.
Wait, is this the same? Is this the same guy that fucking
The same guy.
No. Is this the same guy that like did a video where he had like a bottle of vodka and he was in his car and he was like, ah! Just chug. I think that's.
Yeah, he's like, I hate my life.
I hate my life.
We were sort of like, well, do we go on Craigslist? Like what?
Craigslist?
And then eventually I sort of said, look, the whole point of this is that it is supposed to be humiliating for me. And it is supposed to be So I'm going to give you the reins. You do whatever you want. You do it with whoever you want. And I just have to suck it up. That's the whole point. It's not just in the moment. It's the lead up and everything surrounding it. It's a psychological thing. So she said, okay, and I said, I promise it is okay. Never say that. So we picked out a date. Well, she picked out a date and said, you're going to do this. And that was what I wanted, So she said, we're going to do this here. It's going to be at the house. Another mistake.
Bro, would be another mistake, bro. This whole thing.
It's going to be with this person who I found on Hinge. And there we go. It's going to be great. So that night comes. And I'm very, 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 very nervous. I'm sort of, that's anxiety inducing, but another mistake that I made was that I sort of had an attitude of just power through it because it's like mouthwash. The pain means that it's working. This is supposed to hurt. So the pain is good. Suck it up and get through it. So
there's a whole new definition of embrace the suck.
All the information that I have now in the future, but I didn't. So the time rolls around. I can't focus at work because I'm thinking about it. And then the night rolls around. It was a Friday night, and
that's crazier.
There's a knock at the door. He's here, right? She had told me she'd never met this guy before, and she was acting acting like she had never met this guy before. But as soon as she opened the door, I could swear there was a little bit of it was like a flicker of
a what?
recognition. You know, it was like they said, "Oh, nice to meet you. You know, hi, how are you? My name's
Hi, how are you?"
But the look in her eye seemed like she knew who this person was. But I can't say anything because I'm going to sound like a crazy person. But that was sort of a stomach drop moment. You know, but I said, no, it's all in your head because I'm paranoid about everything else. How do I know what's right and what's not? That's my torment in life. So I said, okay, whatever. He comes in. And you know, they're sort of like, well, should we make small talk or do you want to get into it? We had put out a little charcuterie board. You know,
the fuck is that?
Kind of stuff. Probably should have been another red flag how into it she was getting. You know, it was like it was going to be a date. She had lit candles and, you know, cheese and all this stuff and wine. So he starts having crackers and you know, talking about all just the weather and all this stuff. And then eventually they say, okay, it's time. Like they started acting like they had been talking about this before. And maybe that wasn't exactly something that I had said, no, that's for no. But still, it was weird that it seemed like they were the team and I wasn't. I guess I'm complaining about exactly what I wanted and I told them. But I don't know, it's just all these things I was starting to really get agitated and anxious. And I should have stopped it. I should have said, no, I don't want to do this anymore. But I didn't because I thought that was supposed to be good. I thought that was the way it was supposed to go. So they say, okay, we are going to start. Let's go in the bedroom. So I walked in and I felt like I was about to puke. I sit in a chair that we had positioned.
Bro, I want to know if Addams 22 has like a story. I would like something. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was in the room when Jason Love was clapping his girl's cheeks, but I wonder if, like, something of saying how he felt about that.
There, the cock chair.
I want to compare. The cock chair.
Sit down. And knowing probably what I should have done was face the dude and see the back of my wife's head, because what sunk me was I sat behind the guy and I saw my wife's face straight on. So I was looking at her face, processing every single micro expression that she was emitting.
Nah.
She walked over to the guy and she was so excited. The look on her face of excitement when she was coming up to him and leaning in, you know, and she was like, you know, I can't do it, but it was a look that I had never seen before in my life. She was excited in a way that I had never seen before in my life. She was conveying an emotion that I'd never seen before. And that broke me. That was what pushed me over the edge. Because I knew there's no coming back from this. There's no coming back from knowing. This is a person who I thought that I have learned inside and out, right? And now I'm seeing that is not the case. She has been hiding this part of herself from me. Not hiding it, but it's just I've never seen it before. So that probably means there's a lot else that I haven't seen. Maybe it's my fault. We can argue that until the cows come home. But point is, I was realizing the true depth of how over our relationship was. And it was sort of like I had an out-of-body experience. Because all of a sudden I got up and I said, stop. And she got upset and she was like, what's the problem? You know, it's annoyed. She was annoyed with me.
That's insane, bro.
And I said, I don't want to do this anymore. She said, well, you said it was okay. And I said, I know I said that now, but now I'm taking it back. And I was getting more and more and more and more upset. At that point, I was 75% sure that we were getting a divorce. But she could have saved it. When she was annoyed with me for stopping, it went up to 90. And then I said, you know what? goodbye. It's over. You two do whatever the hell you want in here because you don't have to worry about me anymore. And I walked out. And I slammed the door behind me and I walked down and I got in my car. And I sat in the car. Nobody came out after me. I waited for 5 minutes in that car like a loser, like a pathetic asshole. 5 minutes. I sat there waiting for somebody to come out and nobody did. That's when I became 100%. Nobody, she didn't come out. I said, it's over. Nothing. So I drove away and I went to a friend's house.
Nah, imagine playing that.
I stayed the night, and I got up the next morning.
Like,
it was one of those.
I saw my wife fucking other dude.
It's like, yeah, bro, we'll have a beer now. Yeah, bro. He's helping. What happened, bro? I let my wife get fucked by another dude. Honestly, I wonder what the homie's reaction was.
That night of sleep.
To
was
be
so
honest,
awful
it's
because
his fault.
I don't know.
It is, bro. You're like, yeah, you know, kinda, I want to see you get fucked. And he's like, fuck.
If something ever
I
happened.
wonder if he pulls out the vodka bottle
wake up
here.
in the middle of the night, and at first you forget, you know, and you're like, maybe it was a dream, maybe it's not, and then you remember, and so I would wake up 10 o'clock, you know, midnight, 3 o'clock, and I'd remember every single time because I'd have to pee a lot, so I have to get up and pee a lot during the night, and so I'm a light sleeper, so I was getting up and remembering what had happened, and like. Every moment, every time that I remembered, it was like it was happening.
Bro, it's PTSD. It was
and I
wild
would
as
check
fuck,
my
bro.
phone to see if she had texted and said, "I'm sorry, you know, I made a mistake. I love you so much. Let's fix this." But nothing. Every time I checked, nothing. I wake up the next morning, and I go to work. I stop at home first because I need to shower and change, and nobody's there.
Bomb clat.
I text her and I say, hey, where are you? Are you okay? You know? Nothing. No answer. So I go to work.
Still getting clapped, bro.
And I don't even remember anything that happened that day. I was just typing, mindless, like trying to take my mind off of it. But I just couldn't focus on anything. I was like, this whole day is shot. And I keep checking my phone. I've got it turned all the way up. You know, when you turn it all the way up so that you hear the sound? Nothing. For the whole morning. Eventually, 11 a.m. rolls around. I get a call from an unknown number. And I think it's a sales call. I get a lot of sales calls, so I don't answer it. Same number calls back immediately after.
It's a dude.
I decline. Same number calls me back a third time. And I answer. And guy says, you know, this is so-and-so from the LAPD.
No.
Is this Dan?
Is he telling the story? I'll just be like, bro, but is this the part where his wife fucking died? I shouldn't be laughing, bro, but the plot twist is crazy.
I said, yeah, it is. He says, is your wife so-and-so? And I said she was. Not anymore. What's going on? She was in a car accident this morning. She's dead.
Bro, this plot twist is
And
insane. I hope this is satire.
the whole world stopped around me. And I said, huh? He said, she's dead.
Damn, bro. So he watched his wife getting her shit raped.
What's the crazy plot twist, bro?
One from seeing his wife get that's insane. That's the last memory of his wife was getting clapped, and then next morning she's dead. Like, bro, this. I mean, you told me too. There's a video you told me about where you saw his grandma pleasuring herself. This guy's life is more cooked than like mine.
In retrospect, I probably should have asked what happened. But I didn't. I don't know why. I said, okay. And I hung up the phone. I think because it was one of those things where you don't really know how you're going to react. and something like that. So I was just in shock, and I was trying to treat it like a normal phone call. So I said, okay, thanks. I said, thanks.
Okay, thanks.
Hang up. And it was like the whole, everything sort of went around me. My ears are ringing. It's like everything's gone. And I feel like Geppetto. I'm having an out-of-body experience. I go over to my boss's room, and I say, I'm sorry. I think I said, I'm sorry, I gotta go. And the look on my boss's face could, she could tell. My boss is a female, by the way. So, write that down. She said, I can tell that you are, I can tell, well, all right, she didn't say that, but she basically was like, she looked just as shocked as me, I think because I was conveying extreme shock. And she said, okay, you can, do what you got to do. Hope everything's okay. And I said, it's not. At this point, I realize I am crying, and snot is running down my nose. And I realize I have to call the police guy back because I don't have any other information. I don't know where she is. I don't know what happened. I don't know what's going on.
I mean, she's dead.
Et cetera, et cetera. I call the police guy back. And I ask, what the hell happened? What's going on with my wife? How did she die? What's going on? And he says she was in the car with the guy from the previous night. This morning.
Damn.
They were merging onto the interstate, and I guess they misjudged the time.
Bro, so she was going back to his house.
You know what?
4 cheeks. Then she...
That's crazy. She was with the other guy.
Bro,
she was probably giving him a blowjob while he was driving, and he wasn't paying attention. And when he was merging into the intersection, boom, dead.
Tell you, that roadhead. You be cross-eyed.
That makes sense.
I think that's valid.
Timing of the semi-truck that was also merging. They flipped over off the overpass. Both dead.
I don't know why I'm laughing, bro. I should.
And
I'm not a piece of shit.
Now, for the rest of my life, the last time I ever saw my wife,
David's rightful. Roadhead made him crash.
That face she made, that I've never seen her make, of excitement that I've never seen.
That's insane.
Because she's about to get dicked down by some random man. I told my family that what we had gone out to eat the previous night, and we had a beautiful evening, and said we loved each other, but
nah. Explain that to your family too. Explain that to your family. No. Bro.
But even then, eventually I couldn't keep up that lie because I had decided to end it 12 hours before she died. So her parents are trying to coordinate funeral crap with me. And eventually I just said, listen, we got a divorce the night before. We said it's over. So I don't want to be involved in this, okay? This is your problem. You deal with it. Leave me out of it. I don't want to be involved. And they said, they assumed that I was grieving. And so they said, no, it's, come on, it's okay. We love you. You're a part of this family. And I said, no, I'm not a part of this family. I'm nothing.
God.
She doxed me. And I said, what does that mean?
Damn.
Okay. That was me hanging up the phone. That's it. She's dead. That's how she died.
Oh, the Vietnam War is there, bro.
I thought telling that story would make me feel better, but it didn't.
She got me.
Nothing will make me feel better. Because every time I think about her now, I think about that face.
Bro. She got me. You said the most popular video was like.
He saw his grandma pleasuring himself. So stupid ass.
Bro, I gotta see this shit.
Look for the most popular one, dude. You gotta watch it.
I accidentally came during the top interview.
Oh yeah, it's the second most popular one, dude.
But
There's the look.
there's the vodka
down.
one.
That's the one you're talking about.
That's the one, bro.
Taking a vodka bit.
I just gotta watch this real quick. Hey, Blaze at 4 a.m. before PT. Now we're checking that whole vodka bottle's insane. It tastes like can't find EpiPen. This crazy.
Why?
Stalking my eggs.
Why is everything always like this? What did I do to deserve this?
Bro, I'm starting to think these are his kids. It started as a 3.
Let's watch the grandma
murder.
I want to see what he has to say.
Wait, what's the EpiPen one? Because they said that one looks crazy.
Watch the grandma. Watch the most popular one. Put it.
Not oldest, not oldest. I saw my grandma. Can't.
Let's watch it.
I bet I'm gonna record this one too.
Savings are always on the menu with the Flex Your Credits electricity plan from Reliant.
We live on YouTube. We're just gonna fast forward his intro. So we're reacting to. I'm not even gonna read the fucking title. Alright. Fernando Riolix told me we gotta react to this after we reacted to.
Yo, what's up?
We're just gonna get into this. We're fast intro.
What makes hella stupid shit?
Let me just say first, there's nothing wrong with the doing that. I understand that it's perfectly natural. It's just that I was having a really bad week and a terrible day today. And I wasn't in a good mental headspace to process that, seeing that, and I just hope that now, every time that I think about my grandmother, or I see my grandmother, or I talk to my grandmother, that I'm not gonna think about it every single time, because I love my grandmother so much. And I don't want to lose my grandmother. I don't want to have to think about her doing that every time I talk to her.
What the
So I went over her house today because she lives in Pasadena and she had a computer question. Go figure, right? And I said, of course I'll come over and help you with whatever. So I came over and I saw that her car was in the driveway, and I go over there all the time, so I just went in, not a big deal.
boy?
And I didn't see her around. I I called out. I said, Grandma. She wasn't there. So I just went over to the computer and I started seeing if I could figure out what was, the problem. And
I see what's going on.
A few minutes went by. And then I just heard, it was sort of like a, and a few months ago, my grandmother tripped in the shower and she broke her hip and really hurt herself. And
that hip getting worked on.
I was the one who found her. And so I got really scared because I thought maybe my grandmother was in trouble. And so I ran up and I said, Grandma, are you okay? And I didn't hear anything. So I opened the door to her bedroom. And she was So I ran back out. I said, oh my God, and I ran out.
Bro.
And I keep thinking, the part that I can't stop thinking about is her face was like, she was like, I don't even want to, Okay. Hopefully one day this will be just a silly story that we all talk about. If I can even talk about it. But I don't even know what to say. She's called me a couple times and I've just declined because I don't even know what to say. I don't want her to feel bad, but I guess it was my fault for walking in. What am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to react to this situation? And this is just this is not even the top third worst thing that's happened to me this whole week. Like I said, I just was not in a good place to receive this information.
The face is making better, bro.
I hate my life.
I would have fighted the other one, bro. I accidentally came. I am not gay.
Oh, yeah, put it.
Which one?
The accidentally gay
job
interview. I don't know.
Hi, everybody. I had a job interview today, and I came in my pants during the interview. I have struggled my entire life with ADHD and anxiety and bipolar disorder, and I've spent so long trying to figure out how to manage my symptoms so that I can actually be a normal person on a day-to-day basis, and it seems like everything I do doesn't work. I was addicted to Xanax for so long, and it ruined my life, and
type shit.
it just felt like everything I did somehow made it worse, and now the one thing that I thought worked clearly doesn't. Basically, I figured out at a very young age that if I was anxious and I was insecure, then the way that in the moment I could sort of calm myself down and make myself focus and make myself more confident was to make myself horny, basically. So,
What?
you know, thinking about.
Oh my god, bro. There's like one old human that I make me laugh like this, bro. Yeah, yeah.
He has to make himself horny.
Like, yeah, I'm 18 as fuck. I'm on the stage about to graduate high school. Let me think about Violet Myers. Yeah.
About something sexy to the point where
Oh
I
yes,
would
it's
get
not.
physically aroused. So I would, you know, if I get a chubby or that sort of stuff. And most of the time it went fine. You know, it would actually work really well because what it does is it sort of makes it's sort of like a natural medication, because when you get horny, the chemicals that your brain releases are, you know, you have dopamine and adrenaline and those sorts of things.
Dopamine maxing.
The medications that you would actually take for anxiety or ADHD or that sort of stuff.
You gotta be like,
So,
I'm gonna get this job to the
I figured I was just going to do that
interview.
and it would be fine, but
Oh, what?
I got to the
Yeah,
interview.
you get this
and
job to the person.
I
That's
started having a panic
insane.
attack as usual in my car, and I pulled out my phone and I started looking at porn and whacking it, basically.
Nah, in the parking lot.
because that
Insane.
That's
helps me.
crazy.
Helps.
Hey, that's
Bro,
crazy.
no, I got a similar story. I'm gonna tell this on YouTube. I was not the one smacking my meat. I wasn't even fucking there. But my old squad leader, he was stationed in should I say I'm not gonna say the base name. But he was stationed somewhere else. And there was one time where like it was like a battalion formation somewhere, or like they had to be at a battalion, or whatever his battalion was. And then they were chilling in this one room, and I think the cameras like were on. I forgot the exact thing, or they're looking throughout the window, and this one staff sergeant, an E6 in the army, was in the car just smacking his shit. And then everyone like started looking. He's like, "Yo, what the fuck?" And everyone just like huddled around the window, just looking at him. And then he was still like whacking his shit for like maybe like 5 more minutes. And he looks up and he's like, "Oh shit!" And he like goes in there. He's like, "You motherfuckers better not tell anyone. I will fuck you up." And whacking his shit in a whole ass military base in the battalion parking lot is insane. That's baffles me. That's what this reminds me of right now.
And I guess that was my first mistake. I sort of got a head start before I went in. So I go in and it starts off okay. You know, the receptionist is very nice. I'm waiting for the guy to come out who's going to interview me, and I start preparing my fantasy that I'm going to focus on through the interview. So it's good. For me, usually that's stuff like cucking and
No,
well, I don't need to get into it, but you know what I mean. Everybody has their little things that they like.
But he's a good actor. I'm pretty sure it's a satire.
Sorry, I'm a mess. I just have been crying all day since it happened this morning. So the guy comes out, and I have to kind of, you know, because I don't want to stand up and then have a, you know, boing thing happen.
Boing.
So I stand up and I say hello. I shake his hand, you know, blah blah, and it starts going well. We make small talk, and we go into the interview room, and it starts fine. But then the first thing that happened that sort of made it go worse was that on the website they advertised the position as being fully remote, but then in the interview he said that actually I had to come in 3 times a week still, and I started to get Normally, I probably would have just said, okay, whatever, but this, I really didn't want to come in because, like I said, I have debilitating anxiety and social scrap.
Pat, you really want this
I
job.
looked for a remote position on purpose so that I would be able to be easier for me to work. So I wanted to confront him about this, and because my anxiety was getting worse and increasing, I had to sort of make I had to get more aroused, because it's like, if that goes up, then this has to go up, right? So
what?
So I was thinking more about my fantasy, and then also there was a desk there, so I started kind of working myself. You know what I mean?
What?
I know that
Bro was smacking his me in the interview.
Damn, that's
Like,
crazy.
Like, yeah. Why the fuck you give me this position?
When I'm explaining it right now, it sounds bad, but you have to understand that most of the time nobody would find out, right? And you also have to understand how difficult it is. I don't think most of you know how difficult it is to have anxiety and panic disorder and ADHD and probably autism. I don't even know. I have tons of stuff.
Weaponized autism right here.
So it's debilitating. So I try to do anything I can to make.
Oh, we got Antonio in the chat.
Feel better. And if this is what,
Oh shit!
in a capitalist system,
Antonio.
I do anything and anything to survive in capitalism. So yeah, I was under the table. Yeah.
Insane.
Under the table,
Like smacking his.
Oh, that's some fucking crazy.
Yeah, bro. Like he was like smacking his. He was like, yeah. I really want this job bad. Oh my god.
Says so. I asked him, you advertise the position online as being a remote position, but now you're saying that it's not. And he said, well, I don't know what we said online. Sometimes that stuff isn't accurate. So I said, whatever, and I moved on, because now I'm not even sure I want this job anymore. But maybe, that's the type of thing where maybe we can figure it out later. And then he asked me about my last job, which obviously I got fired from, if you watch my recent videos. So I was trying to figure out a way that I got really nervous trying to figure out a way that I could say what happened, but also not, if he called my old boss and asked what happened, I didn't want to have lied, but also I want to explain it in a way that it doesn't sound that bad and seems, reasonable, and hopefully makes him not want to call the people. So I think at this point, I don't know. I mean, I sort of was not aware exactly of. I was trying to kind of keep myself under control, but I was also I felt myself all of a sudden, it kind of snuck up on me. I felt myself kind of all of a sudden go over the point of no return. Right?
No.
And so I felt it happen.
You about busting up.
And I tried to pretend to have a coughing fit, because I can.
Nah, bro was like, yeah, fuck.
Can try to act like nothing's happening, but on a certain level, you're gonna.
I don't think he that's an accident.
So I'm trying to go like, and I must not have done a very good job, I guess, because afterwards he looked at me very strangely and he was like, is everything okay? And then I just kind of broke down and I said, no, it's not. It's not okay, because I know that it's not your fault, but nothing in my life is going right at all. And it feels like everything I do to try to make it better just makes it worse and ruins my life more. So no, it's not okay. And at this point, I knew that the interview was over and we were past the point of no return, and I started crying. And I stood up I said, you know what, we talked a little bit for a formality, but then eventually I said, okay, I think all right, that's, you know. And I stood up, and there was a big, it was obvious what happened. I don't know what else I need to say. And I shook his hand because I didn't know what else to do. What am I supposed to do? I just shook his hand and
bro got a shake his head with nut on his head.
And I ran out so that before the receptionist could see me or anybody else in the office, but I'm sure they all saw me. And I just kept waiting in my car and cried all day. So that's my story.
No.
That's just the latest thing that's happened to me that has been totally horrible.
Horrible.
I just hope one day my life gets good. Because I can't do this anymore. I can't live like this.
Why my nephew deserves to be here with my car?
This is some crazy.
Bro, that's the best YouTube channel.
Some crazy fucking story. This one just posted some random shit.
I fucked my girl. I ain't racist just because I got slaves. My sister's actually my daughter. I mean, what?
Yeah.
I shot my waitress. I fed my ex her own dog. What the fuck? They call me high at mass. Wait, no. I said this slur. Oh no, I'm playing this one on.
Okay. I am not perfect. I am not perfect. And I've never said that I was. Many, many, many times I have said on this very channel that I am a work in progress, which means that I do things, I make mistakes, and then I learn from those mistakes, and I use those experiences to become better. Because as much as everybody else would probably like to pretend that they are perfect, as much as my friend group would probably like to pretend that they are all the reincarnation of Jesus Christ, they're not perfect either.
But what if I am?
And I mean,
What happened?
What if I am the reincarnation of Jesus Christ himself?
That'd be the biggest plot twist I've ever seen in my fucking life, and I've seen lots of plot twists in my life. If you're the reincarnation of Jesus Christ, then I'm Jason Love.
the mistake yesterday of assuming that they were aware of that. And I made the mistake of being myself and being comfortable enough to not feel like I constantly have to obsess over not feeling like I have to constantly obsess over what am I saying, how am I saying it, you know. I'm always so in my own head about everything that I say. And whenever I feel like I can be comfortable enough to open up with somebody and just say whatever I'm thinking, that is something really special. And I'm so hard on myself. And every time I feel like I say something stupid in conversation, I beat myself up over it for days and days and days and days. So yesterday, I went to a brunch with a group of friends who are all white, by the way. And I, at one point in the conversation, the mimosas were flowing.
No.
And
Nah, I feel you, bro. When I be on the game and I'm like drunk, I be screaming the N-word all the time. You know how it is. Oh, that wasn't satire. That me being truthful.
I didn't think that there was anybody who was keeping a log book of every single thing that everybody was saying. I didn't think a stenographer was there.
What's a stenographer?
And I don't want to get into specifically what I said. I don't want to get into specifically the word that I said, because I don't think that's important. I think that
No,
what
that's
is important
so I clicked the video.
The general idea that I made a mistake, and I understand that I made a mistake, and nobody wants to let me get away with it, or nobody wants to let me live. Nobody will let me live it down, right? Everybody is trying to. And what I don't understand is,
Point that out.
I said I'm sorry. I said okay, I made a mistake. You're right. Fine, I won't
He's
say
right.
that anymore.
Saying I'm
And
sorry
still,
is
it's
the
like
key.
one
Yes.
word that I said can completely change everybody's life. I'm lifetime friends with these people, and one single.
Okay, bro, they're definitely not lifetime friends. Me and Bruce be saying slurs to each other all the time. Me, Joseph, you, fucking Marvin, David. We'd be saying slurs to each other all the time. Not satire again.
Word that I said has completely changed their entire perception of me to the point where they don't want to talk to me anymore, and they don't want to invite me to stuff anymore. One thing that I said when I was drunk.
I want to know what he said.
I really want to know, so I clicked the video.
And it just doesn't make sense to me. I don't obsessively keep track of all the things they say. I should have now, so that I would be able to reference it. But you would think that when you're friends with somebody, they know you well enough and they understand you well enough to sort of give you the benefit of the doubt, you know, and not let any one thing that you say in any given moment change who they know you are. My friends know that I'm a good person. My friends know that my opinions, they've known me for years. So what are they trying to prove by acting like they're holier than thou about all of this stuff? And what are they trying to prove by, you know, the only people who are seeing this transpire are me, the 5 people who are at brunch, and the restaurant and the waitress. But we're never going to see those people again. So, again, I ask,
The waitress is
what are you
insane.
trying to prove by crucifying me over one thing that I said? One thing.
The word he said was the Wahlberg word. Maybe, or maybe he said Oh yeah, another person that I say slurs with all the time, Wahlberg. I was like, I want to see this real quick.
Yo, I'm gonna hop off. I gotta go get dinner.
All right,
I
bet.
am not gay.
Let's go make dinner.
I am straight.
I see that.
I'm straight. I like women only. Finally, everything is gonna be okay. Everything
later,
is
bro.
gonna be okay.
Later.
I'm gonna still be on the stream though.
I bet.
Chat.
Just let me know.
Don't open your mouth and start saying things if you don't know what you're talking about. Please. I'm the sugar.
What the fuck?
Let's see what mayhem we can cause at Home Depot.
Bro, what the fuck?
I am not.
Bombacla. Oh yeah, he for sure lying. Fernando lying about what? Getting dinner? He my boy, but like if he was lying about that, I'd be surprised. What the fuck? I want to see what else I can react to. Maybe fucking what are you lying about? He's still on Discord. my screen's not even fucking on. Bumbleclut. Should not log on to Instagram on stream. Now I'm gonna be the one that accidentally jizzes during a job interview. Fucking what else was I might react to Arcade Queen Ass, but I was originally gonna do it with Fernando. Because fucking the first time I did it, I fucked my girl dad. I'm trying to find like a good video. Jidion, I don't know if I want to watch fucking Jidion on the stream. As of now, for now. I'm fucking with him, but I'm not sure about this stream. Dinner. Nah, he's getting dinner. I mean, it's 9 o'clock. Where y'all at? I don't know. You'll find something. I mean, I used to fucking YN. Or should I say that word? YN Diddy EDP accent. Damn. Bro, what the fuck? The friend that gets too high. We're gonna examine. We're gonna I was gonna say nitpick. Then chill the fuck out. Nitpick this video because I used to be this friend.
Like, we all need to get out of here. I'm not trying to sit in the crib all night. Yo, that's what I was trying to tell y'all. Like, where y'all trying to go? Whatever. We can go anywhere. Wait, look at bro. Look at him. Oh, nah, yo, you gotta chill out on that, bro. You gotta chill out on the weed, bro.
High as
You getting
hell.
too high if you like this.
I'm not even that high. What are y'all talking about?
I'm telling you, addicted. Addicted.
We'll hit you in the face this morning.
Oh, you done said the word, bro. You said the word.
I'm not addicted. Look at my eyes. Hey, no, you are.
No, you do gotta chill out. You get...
Look at me. Bro, look at me.
What? He's smoked this up to a coma?
Hello?
Yo, bro, what's up? You busy today, bro? I was thinking about linking up, man. What's
Wait,
up?
bro, wasn't we just talking?
What are you talking about, bro? We didn't talk like all day. I just called you.
I was telling y'all to, like, look at me. I was saying I don't look that high.
What?
Remember, I was like, look at my eyes.
Look at your eyes. Wait, bro, you talking about 7 years ago?
Bumbleclut. What's the old Pop Rocks commercial? What happens in that? They drop the N-word?
Bro, wait, was you high this whole time? How was you high for that long?
How was you?
You telling me you was on autopilot for 7 years? No.
Nah, that's insane though. Like fucking, I smoke weed. I don't know. But I mean, the memories I made, like kicking it off. Well, I remember it. Pop Rocks, yeah. Does it? I want like what the fuck happens? I get my channel deleted. After reading the comments, I'm like, nah. I'm debating on it. Bro.
I want you to change my grade.
Why should I do that?
Bomb.
This rate will be here all day.
Get your rocks off.
Oh.
No. Bro. What the fuck? Antonio, what the fuck, bro? Bro. That last shot was insane.
I want you to change my grade.
Oh. I gotta run that back.
get your rocks off.
Oh.
Bro. There's no way this was actually aired, bro. There's no way they aired this. What the fuck? What the fuck? Hold on. I mean, this is already uploaded on YouTube from another YouTuber. Bro, what the fuck is this?
God damn it! Fuck!
Brady prick. What the fuck am I reacting to, bro? We went from... This reaction has been... Accurate Blaze.
Today, there was a declaration of war. Belle Delphine challenged me personally to a battle of sex toys. I was on Twitter and I saw this post come up, and I had to do a fucking double take. I thought my Moby Huge had been stolen from me. I thought I was burglarized by Miss Delphine. But as it turns out, she's just trying to get the world record for most sex toys, and I couldn't help but laugh. I said, oh, what